Hello everyone and welcome. And in the lights of the Vancouver Regional results, we're gonna be looking at a turbo deck, and that is going to be the Roaring Moon EX. So for our Pokemon, we have 3 Roaring Moon EXs as our main attackers. We have 1 Roaring Moon, which is also a great attacker, to get the energies in the discard, and as draw engine we have the Radiant Greninja, of course. We have 1 Squawkabilly to reset our hand in the first turn. We have 1 Koraidon, which is a very interesting attacker in this deck. We have 1 Pheasant DPTX for the draw engine. We have 2 Pecharunt EX to switch out the Dark Pokemon into the active. And we have 1 Luminion V to fish out our supporters. So for our supporters, we have 4 Professor Sada's Vitality, we have 1 Iono for Disruption, we have 1 Professor's Research to reset our hand, we have 1 Boss's Orders, and we have 1 Penny to pull up the damaged Roaring Moon EX into our hand. So for our items, we have 4 Dark Patches to get the Dark Energies onto our benched Dark Pokemon. We have 4 Earthen Vessels to get said Dark Energies into the discard and into our hand. We have 4 Nest Ball to get the basics onto our bench. And for additional Pokemon search, we also have 4 Ultra Ball. We also have 4 Pokemon Catchers to hopefully get something else from the opponents from the bench to the actives. We have 3 Tracking Shoes to get through the deck more faster, I guess. We have 2 Pokegear to get our supporters. We have 1 Super Rod to get the energies and Pokemon back into our deck. We have 1 Palpet to return the supporters into our deck. We have 1 Night Stretcher to get the Pokemon or energies into our hand. And as the ace pack of choice, we have Prime Catcher. And for our stadiums, we have 4 Pokestops. And we have 8 basic Darkness energies. So, first of all, why are we talking about Turbo Roaring Moon? It popped up in Vancouver, it finished third, so that was a pretty cool result for a deck that is not played a lot, especially lately. And the second thing, I really like this deck, because if I recall correctly, I gained my first championship points with Roaring Moon EX, back in the previous rotation when Moltres V was still legal. And yeah, I really like the deck, haven't picked it up much lately, but once I saw the results from Vancouver, I just had to give it a go. So, a little bit about how to play this deck. You always want to go second, because Roaring Moon is very aggressive deck, and going second you can use your Sadas early on in the game, so you can charge up your Roaring Moon EXs or your small Roaring Moon with Hand Attach plus Professor Sada's Vitality. We also have Dark Patches, in case any of them are on the bench, you can load them up from there. And we also have 2 Pecharunt EX, which allows us to switch any Dark Pokemon into the active, which is also very cool. And yeah, this deck is super aggressive, you just want to be going second, so you get the first knockout. And after that you want to be taking knockouts with the big Roaring Moon, while charging the second Roaring Moon EX on your bench. And once the main one is knocked out, you want to promote the second one and start charging up the third one, and so on, until you pick up all of the prizes, and you hope that you get mainly 2 prizes early on. The second thing about this deck, the funny inclusions and exclusions in this list. I took a lot of inspiration from the third placed deck list in Vancouver, but I swapped out the Larios with another Pecherant, because Pecherant is actually viable as an attacker late game, while Larios is just a bench sitter, and I personally believe that Pecherant is way better inclusion in the deck than Larias EX. And why do I also think that we need more attackers in this deck? Because I've been testing a lot against control, and you want to have a board state full of attackers, full of Pokemon that are ready to attack at any point in the game, especially in against decks like Snorlax. So that's kind of a fun fact why I prefer to have more Pokemon that can attack rather than more Pokemon that are over there just for moral support, if that makes sense. So, talking a little bit about the matchups, we're having a great time into decks such as Terrapagos Dusknoir. We're having great time in any two pricer decks, to be honest, because of the Frenzied Gouging attack of the Roaring Moon EX. It is just insane. It can one-hit knock out anything, dealing 200 damage to itself, and if they don't return the knockout, you just penny the damaged Roaring Moon EX back into your hand and you start attacking again. Broken. Totally broken. The only thing stopping us over here is actually the Mist Energy, because Mist Energy is the only thing that prevents us from dealing 200 from insta-knocking out opponents' Pokemon. So yeah, Mist Energy kinda is a bit of a pain to us, but other than that, anything else is really, really good for us, to be fair. And the decks that I always felt were very painful were the single price decks. I think that's the only big issue with this one, are the single pricers, such as all variations of Lost Zone, such as Ancient Box is super strong against Roaring Moon EX, the Turbo Moon variant. It does set up a bit more slowly, but it has just the awkward HPs that kind of mess with you. So you have to either Calamity Storm plus discard the Stadium or Frenzied Gouging, which is not at all great against single price decks. And another very difficult from my testing has proved to be the Dragapult TX. If I don't get the setup early on, I will have to do a Frenzied Gouging sooner than later, and they can just boss and get double two prizers out, gaining 4 prizes, which is a huge advantage, and that's a really, really difficult matchup. But to end on a positive note, I'm gonna mention one more very good matchup that I did not mention before, and that is Stall. This deck is insane against Stall, Snorlax Stall decks. It's also very, very good against Control, but it's insanely good into Stall because you have the Pecherant plus Roaring Moon combo, which is broken. You can switch them out however you like, and they cannot trap you in the active, which is insane. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, you guys, and catch you next time.